All right, what is going on, guys? It's Raul. We're back for some more coverage. This time we got West Coast Disc Golf Championships. Only round 2 this time, but this is the second round at Baker, David L. Baker Golf Course. First round was at Huntington Beach Disc Golf Course in the all-long layout. So, yeah, you'll see our lead card here. We got Jake Brown, 1008 player, shooting a 9 down. Jake Froehle shooting a 8 down at 1009. Diego Perez, 978 at 7 down. And Gavin Boss also at 7 down. If you watch this channel, you know these guys are all good buddies of mine. And yeah, it should be a fun card. These guys are all buddies, so the vibes will be good on the card. And yeah, it should be a battle. So there the boys are getting a picture before the round, but we'll get into it here in a second. This is a super calm day at Baker. A lot of the times this course is pretty windy, but it was like dead calm this day, so very scoreable conditions.
This is our lead card in the Men's Pro Open Division. And currently in the lead, taking to the tee, is Jake Brown from San Clemente, California.
Yep, we got Jake Brown first. Hole 1 is a 333-foot hole. You can't quite see it, but there is a green left, and OB right of this path. So you really have to throw something that just kind of goes straight and maybe has some fade at the end. Jake going with more of a straight shot. Does it pretty well. Ends up maybe 20, 25 of the basket. Looks like Jake Froehle is going with more of a Firebird, so kind of playing the swinging shot. Kind of allows you to just hit it on hyzer and let it to fade back at the basket, and it looks pretty much perfect. You can see the green on the left there now. Diego going with a Felon, so kind of the same approach here. You're kind of looking to hit this around that light pole on the right, maybe a little bit inside of it. And Diego just puts that inside. It looked like he might have been trying to get it flat, but just either puts it too inside or too much hyzer. Either way, fades out onto the green, but he will have a putt for the par. Probably inside the circle. Gavin just going with this super overstable destroyer. Kind of just putting it out right and just trusting it to get back left. And yeah, looks perfect. Hits it nice and flat, pushes it straight for a bit, and skips it right up to the basket. All right, Diego putting straight from OB. However, there is a little drop off coming from where the camera is, and just fades off a little bit off to the left, but shouldn't be too far. Actually, that might be his disc right there off to the right, maybe 20 feet or so, 25. Jake Brown hits a nice putt for the bird. Good way to start the round. Diego cleaning up his bogey. Jake and Gavin pretty much tap-ins here. Yep. All right, so a couple of birdies and one bogey. Moving on to hole 2, we got a par 4, about 600 feet or so. There is a Mando right and left, so you just want to take a driver, kind of put it out left and let it drift over to the right. There's not OB off the tee shot, it's just the Mando, so if you end up left or right, you're pretty much fine. Jake smashing one up there. That should be a really easy up shot. No longer than 150 feet, I'd imagine. Jake going with this destroyer, getting some nice flip and turn out of that. That's going to be up there as well. Should be a very simple up shot. There is a little OB and hazard up by the green, but it's not super dangerous. Gavin going with the flex shot. He's more of a flex player, likes to kind of take that overstable disc and crank it over on Andy, let it fight out, and that's going to be right up there with the other guys. Diego going with this Halo Destroyer. It's pretty straight disc. I've seen him throw it a lot. Pretty beat in, so hitting it flat. Just kind of overturned it a little bit, but that slid up there. He's still probably 300, 320 or so in. Not too bad. He's just throwing a hyzer up to the basket. Looks decent if it can get left a little bit. Yeah, it should be around the circle's edge, 30 feet or so. Jake going with the zone, probably has 240 or in. Yeah, just a little hyzer here, probably at 200 or so, and that's going to be a 2-for-2 start. Kevin, similar position, also going with the zone.
So bad.
And just leaks it out short and left.
Oh.
Gonna be a longer putt than he wanted. Jake Brown with the super short up shot. Also leaving that pretty short. Maybe just didn't want to throw it into the bunker long. Ended up being a little too touchy. Gavin with the right side chain out.
Unreal.
It's a decent putt, just maybe a little too much pace for that high right side. Jake with the solid putt there to save that short up shot from a really good drive. See if Diego can get himself back to even par here. Oh, and I think that cut through left side. Looked decent, but just splashed out. Gonna have to take a par. Jake tapping in his birdie. Moving on to hole 3. This is a par 3, 415. There is a green. It's not over there. You'll see where the basket is in a second here. So these guys are throwing to the right where it's kind of safe and just looking to hyzer back towards the basket, which is on the left. There it is. And everything short of the basket, kind of straight from it, is an OB green. So these guys are really just trying to throw it safe right on hyzer and let it slowly fade back to the basket. There's also OB right and the water short, but the water line I think is only like 290, 300 feet, so it's not too bad. And Jake Froehle throwing a perfect hyzer to the basket. That should be inside 25 or so. Gavin going with the flex shot again, nice and high, gonna have plenty of time to glide out. And yeah, just barely creeps off the green. That's gonna be right up there by Jake's though. Diego going with that same destroyer, see if he can get this. Just throws it a little too flat, just turns off to the right. If it stays safe, he should have a putt though. Yeah, it should be safe. And it looks like Jake Brown barely curled in safe, so he's gonna have a birdie putt from inside the circle. Go 3-for-3 start. Three start for Jake Froehle, so still be one back going into hole 4. Good starts for those guys, especially getting hole 3. Nice birdie from Gavin as well. It looks like Diego just pitched up and took his par. Maybe he gave it a bid, but we didn't get it on camera. Another pretty short par 4, wide open. Really just want to throw something straight and just get some distance. Doesn't really matter if you're left or right. You're just going to have a little forehand hyzer or a backhand hyzer, whichever one you like more. Well, the guys pretty much throwing the same shot that they threw on hole 2. Both of those guys in fine position. Gavin throwing that flex shot, getting some fade out at the end. That should be good. Diego, maybe a little too much turn again, but that's still fine. He'll still probably have less than 300 in. Yep, looks like he's going with this overstable Ultra. And looks like a little early release. Gonna be a little bit further than you want from there. Gavin opting for the sidearm here. Used to not throw any sidearms. He's got a pretty good sidearm. Or like got his sidearm a lot better recently, but throws it a little low, and that's going to be further than he wants as well. Surprised to see him go with the sidearm, honestly, though. Jake just flicking this zone. Looks pretty good. Yep, that should be pretty much perfect, unless it's a little short. Jake also going with a little flick here. Pretty sure this is a Toro. And kind of a surprising little misreliefs for his sidearm. He has a really good sidearm, but I think it ended up fine. It looks like it kind of bounced down there. He was so far up, it kind of just worked out. Long putt for Diego. Looked pretty good. Just looks like it barely missed it right. He probably knew, but it looked pretty good from that perspective. And looks like Jake just kind of pushed that off left a little bit. Gonna take his first par. See if Froehle can tie it up. Oh my gosh, almost bounced back, but ties it up. Gonna be tied up going into hole 5.
It got close, yeah.
Gavin actually skipped off the top, ended up pretty good. I wasn't sure if it got caught up, but he was also far enough up there that it didn't end up mattering too much. Oh my gosh, and surprisingly missing that putt. He's usually pretty much locked in from that distance, so you can tell he's definitely upset after missing that one. Jake, a little bit of work left on his par putt. All right, hole 5, 360. The basket is off to the right on a little mound. There's OB right and a bunker that's hazard left, so pretty technical hole here. And Jake turning that forehand over. That typically feeds into the bunker if you throw it hard enough, and he definitely throws hard, so that's going to be a par putt with OB right behind the basket. So opportunity for Jake Brown here. Throws a nice little flip-up sidearm. And yeah, looked like it got up there, but there's kind of a little false front that gets in your head. It's probably going to be a little bit further than it looks. That's probably 25 to 30 feet or so, when it tends to look a little closer. Gavin going with the sidearm here, trying to flip up his boss, and just comes up a bit too short to run that putt probably. He might give it a safe little bid, but definitely not the full go, if any. Diego just looking to hit this destroyer flat and just scoot it up to the basket. See if he can throw a nice backhand here. And just turns it over again. Didn't go OB though, so just want to get up and down. Throws the slammer, and yeah, those shots like to feed into the bunker with the way that hill slopes down to the left. See Gavin really just wanting to slide it up there and hit the ground. A little bit of work left on that though, actually. Here's Jake to get potentially 2 strokes. And makes a solid putt there. That is a great putt with how fast the green is, and with the OB right behind. Jake to get a par putt and only lose 1 stroke. Also a good putt. Catching metal just a little low. See if Diego can save his bogey. Yep. Gavin for his par. There you go.
You should go there, bro.
All right, hole 6, the only par 5 on the course. Only OB on the drive is the water right, so you really just want to throw something straight down the middle. Jake going with something stable, just fading it left. Kind of playing with those trees. I didn't exactly see where that landed, but I know it's safe. Gavin always finding a way to throw the flex shot, but it's going to be really good actually. Getting some nice turn out of that boss. Jake, little hyzer stand up. And yeah, it's going to be perfect position. Ooh, gets a nice little rollout too.
Come on, quit, dude. Sit down.
Diego, see if you can put a nice drive in place. Yeah, getting some nice turn out of that. There you go. Now it's really just a placement shot. Anything from like 350 to 400 will get you in good position. Can eagle the hole with 2 big shots, but he's probably just going to be looking for position here. Yeah, getting some turn out of that. Fading out a little early, but you pretty much have a shot from anywhere up there. The more left, it is a little bit trickier because you're looking directly at the basket with bunkers in the front. So it's a little bit harder to stick it, but still going to have manageable shot in. Jake going with the sidearm. Yeah, getting left just kind of makes the angle a little bit better for landing the disc on the side of the hill opposed to the very front of it. Gavin going with this boss, probably just going for straight distance, seeing if he can get himself a jump putt. That's the best option. But yeah, you can see him trying to keep it over on the right side. And yeah, that's good. That's probably a jump putt from there. Jake going with the sidearm. Getting a lot of turn out of that thing. Went far though. That's going to be way up there. Might even be a jump putt as well. See Jake from this right side. You can kind of see the right side of that little slope up there. Allows you to throw the hyzer off to the right and kind of bump it up there. So he maybe went a little bit long, but didn't look to be too much speed. Yeah, see, versus Diego's angle, he's looking right at the basket, so it's a bit harder to hit that landing zone. But does it really good. Hits the top of the hill and should be 20, 25 feet or so. Gonna have kind of a sketchy putt, but should be well inside the circle. Jake kind of has an eagle bid here, but does not want it at all, just taking that easy bird. Jake actually has a little bit of a longer putt than I expected. Solid putt though. If you miss that, you're 30 feet down the hill on the other side, putting straight at the basket with the hazard left, so that's a great birdie putt. See if Diego can also hit a good one. Still probably 20 feet or so. Yep. Gavin also a little bit of work left. Jake tapping in the birdie. All right, hole 7, 315-foot par 3. We got the water on the right, you'll see in a second, and the green on the left. So you really just want to throw backhand hyzer and scoot it up there. Forehand also is an option, but it's a little sketchier, but it's kind of just avoiding these palm trees on the right. And yeah, Jake throws, I think that's a rock 3 perfectly. Kind of gets that nice soft skip. Versus you'll see Gavin, he's going to flex this overstable felon and probably bring these palm trees into play a little bit. Looks like he pushed it straight enough, and yeah, just got past him, but see, discs hit those palm trees all the time, so that's probably why Jake's going with his sidearm. Just keeping it over the land the whole time. That's a little inside, probably more inside than he would have wanted, but it's actually safe, plenty safe. Should be circle's edge or so. Diego going with this overstable felon. Little straight, and oh, he catches that last palm tree and then catches the one on the roll down. This isn't too bad of a putt though. I think it's like 28 feet or so. I should be inside the circle still. Kind of just weird little straddle out. Looks like he has a straight look at it though. See if he can connect on another good putt here. Oh, and a solid looking bid. Just hits the band and a little left. Jake from 27 feet or so. Little uphill. Another good putt there. How to make that one to stay even with Jake Brown. I'm pretty sure he's parked. Gavin from just inside of that distance. Kind of feels like a battle of Jake Brown and Jake Froehle, but Gavin's only 4 back, so you never know. Another missed putt. Did not expect him to miss that. It's usually super good from that distance. Just a little bit too hard and too high. Oh, and Diego just leaking that left a little bit. Little slope can pull those down left. Just kind of fluffed it. Jake getting some strokes on the card. Both Jakes, actually. All right, hole 8, another longer par 3, 410 feet or so, throwing over this green. pretty much the whole time. Looks like Jake's flipping it up a little more inside, kind of playing a little bit safer. Honestly, not a bad play. Going to end up maybe 30 feet left. But just the fact that it's kind of a longer hole and you have to cover this green on hyzer makes it a little bit tricky. So see if Jake can kind of play it a little bit more right and get it a little bit closer. Little bit more right, and gets actually a super long flip up. That should be pretty solid. Looked like it just barely skipped past the basket. Gavin kind of going with this inside line. I'm sure he meant to flex it a little bit more than that, so he's going to have a lot longer putt than he would have wanted. Diego going with the straighter destroyer, probably just looking to flip it up right at the basket, maybe turn it off of it a little bit. And just turned it too much out of the hand.
Safe.
Could not see if it was safe or not, but we'll see in a second. Here's Gavin with a long birdie putt. You know he wants to make this after missing a couple short ones. And yeah, maybe it was just a little bit too long. Jake Brown for the birdie putt and just leaks it a little bit left. So an opportunity for Froehle to get one back here and get within one. And it looks like Diego just pitched up, so he was safe. So he's just going to take an easy par. And a solid putt there. It looked like he just had that little right to left that lifted it into the basket. That was a great putt. Boys just tapping in their pars. And hole 9, par 4, 700 feet or so, so helps to have a little bit extra distance on this one. We got the water right that Jake's throwing at, but he's got plenty of stability in that disc. And that's going to be a nice shot. Should have 300 feet or so in. There is a good amount of OB on the green. There's OB left and a hazard bunker right behind it, so it's a pretty tight green. I'd say that's kind of the teeth of the hole. Jake just taking something stable and fading it out left. That's way up there, though. I think that might be a boss, Halo boss. Gavin also throwing a Halo boss. Turning it out of the hand, but plenty of stability on that thing. That's going to be way up there as well. Diego going with this stable 2020 Calvin Destroyer. Seems he trusts this a little bit more than those other Destroyers. And just fades out a little bit, but he should have a shot from over there. Probably, oh yeah, he's fine. Little backhand hyzer, probably 300 feet or so, maybe a little more. But going with this mid, probably just wanting a straighter skip because the green is so tight, and that looks pretty solid if it has the right distance. And yeah, that's going to be a putt. Gavin opting for the sidearm again. Going with the Destroyer, probably around 300 feet or so. Nice looking line. That's exactly how you want to play it. Gets the path skip. Oh, a little unlucky with the path skip, honestly. That probably would have been really good if it caught some dirt, but went in the bunker, so he's going to have a putt for par. Jake going with this AVR 3 that he likes. Keeping it on hyzer and just scooting it up there. That's going to be pretty much tapping. Jake probably thinking about forehand or backhand. Looks like he's going with the backhand zone. Just looking to scoot this thing up there. Pretty solid. And yeah, checks up right there. All right, little circle 2 putt here. Not putting right at the bunker, so that's nice, but there is the OB long. But he's got a little bit of space behind the basket. Decent looking bid, just a little low out of the hand. Got Gavin's par putt. This one is kind of at the OB, so if he airballs it, could go out of bounds. Makes a good putt there. Couple of tap-ins for the birdies. It's gonna be a 1-stroke ball game going into the back 9. Which hole 10 is a 315 par 3. Pretty much just OB the green short. There's not really bunkers in play. There's OB way long, but kind of takes a lot to get there. Jake going with the sidearm. Little high, but that's still going to be circle 1, it looks like. Jake going with the rock 3. Hitting that nice and flat, getting some straight push. Should be pretty much perfect. Gavin playing the higher fairway driver. Ooh, giving it a little bit of an ace big. Comes up a little short though. Diego going with the felon. Kind of just trying to spike it in there. And that looks pretty good if it can get down. And a little short. Gonna have a little bit longer putt than you want on this one, but still a putt. Nothing too crazy.
Come on now.
There you go, solid putt there. Jake's seeing a little tangle in the chains. Definitely want to fix that when you're one back of the lead.
Yeah, Jake.
There you go.
Jesus Christ. Chains are crossing in the fucking...
Almost bounced back again. Jake Brown to match him. Yep, little low, little left, but it works. There you go, star frame. Just how you want to play this hole. All right, hole 11, par 4, 750 feet. You got OB left on the path and then Amando right. So you really just want to throw something straight. Jake getting a lot of turn out of this, throwing it over that golf cart. That's out there though. Is a bunker on the left, so you can't just fade it out left. Jake Brown smashing that one.
That's height.
Kind of burned it over, but gets a lot of forward slide on the ground there. Gavin, I think this is that Halo boss. Maybe challenging the bunker a little bit. Yeah, right on the little hill right in front of it, but he'll have a shot into the green from there. Probably 350 or so.
Yeah, boy. Like for Aaron and
Go getting some turn out of that destroyer. Should be pretty much center cut. Yep.
And, yeah.
What's it, what?
right, see if Diego can throw a good shot here. We got a big green right in front of the basket, so you're carrying that pretty much the whole way and just trying to get a little skip off of it to the left. Looks pretty good. Probably going to be a little bit left. It's kind of a hard packed green that will get decent sized skips, but he'll be around circle's edge or so. Everyone just throwing pretty much the same disc that they threw off the tee. See if Gavin can start it a little bit wider and get closer. Yeah, that line looks good. Yeah, that should be inside the circle. Jake, maybe a little early left, but I think probably circle's edge. I like this play, sidearm. Just pushing it out left and fading it at the basket. Oh, and a little unlucky hitting that tree there. That was going to be really good, but he's going to be a little bit further than he probably should have. Diego from probably just outside the circle here. Decent looking putt, just a little left out of the hand. Jake from circle's edge or so. That's weird, he ended up left. He must have got a weird kick. Oh, and just sails it. Had the left to right. Probably was anticipating a little bit of a drop. Looked like it might have been like left to right head. Now he's got some work left here. Jake Brown hasn't even hit his birdie putt yet. Solid comebacker there, though. Definitely needed to make that one. Especially if Jake makes this birdie putt. And yep, so he's going to be back up 2, but could have been worse. It's not too bad. Gavin for his birdie putt, went a little deep of the basket. Oh, just gets the dead center spit out. That's tough, but it can happen when you putt that hard. Diego just tapping in the par. Hole 12, pretty simple par 3. 360. There is OB right and a green left, but if you keep the disc on hyzer, it should fade out at the basket, or you can throw a forehand over the green. Looks like Jake's going with this T-bird, a little flip up actually. Kind of a straighter line than you would expect, but it worked out perfectly. Just got the nice little straight skip. Jake going with the sidearm here. Little Annie out of the hand.
Get your ass right. Oh no. Hit a bird.
And just skips long. Barely goes OB long. The basket's only like 30 feet or so from the OB, so he'll have a putt, but it's going to be a putt for the par, and Jake Brown's pretty much in for the birdie with where he is. Gavin going with this flex shot, getting the skip back. Yep, that's going to be, looks like parked from here. See how close it actually is. Diego going with this PD2. Just trying to keep it on hyzer and push it back to the basket the whole time. Pretty good.
Go.
Left, probably 30 feet or so. Yeah, just outside circle actually. Still not too windy. Pretty fortunate out here. This course gets a bit harder in the wind, just with all the OB and the fast greens. Oh, another missed putt right. Probably gonna have a little work left too. See if Jake can hit his par putt here. Jake Brown's pretty close for his birdie, so he just cuts through the temporary basket. That's pretty brutal. It's a good putt, and Jake's going to be tapping in his birdie. They're going to be 3 strokes apart now. Or 4 strokes, because he's going to get 2 more on him, actually. Pretty brutal. But still got some holes left. It's definitely not over. 13, another par 4. You just want to throw something straight. You got plenty of fairway to work with. There's water on the left, so you really just want to push something on this right side. Jake pretty much does that perfect, getting some nice flip up out of it. Gavin flexing this same destroyer he's been throwing. Pushing it a little bit right, but that's going to be fine. Froehle going with the same Evelina destroyer he's been throwing. Get some nice flip up and turn.
That's chill.
Yeah, that's going to be fine position. Diego getting a little flip up out of that destroyer. Yep, that's just fine. There's no real danger around this green. If you push it way long, there is an OB path, but with the kind of spiky angles that they're throwing into this, it's kind of hard to find that. That should be pretty solid. You can't really see the basket from here. It's in between those 2 big trees that you can see in the background. The thick one on the left and the taller one on the right. So kind of good aiming point is that one on the right, and just let it fade off of it. Gavin going with this Badger, so he probably has 300 feet or so in. And that looks pretty good, as long as it doesn't hit it. Yeah, that should be inside the circle. Jake's got a zone in. Pretty solid, might be a little short. Jake going with this AVR 3.
You're definitely. And I was playing left field.
Look to be pretty solid. Oh yeah, if Gavin's here, then they're all looking pretty good. Another leaky one off left. A couple surprising missed putts from Gavin today. Feet or so. Definitely want to make sure you're making these down the stretch. Yep. So Jake and Diego must pretty much be parked. And we didn't see Diego's shot, but he did get the birdie. This is a par 3, 345. There's OB long right, so if you flip something over, it probably will be OB. So Jake's just throwing straight at the basket. It's on this little hill here, right next to that tree. Looked to be pretty good. Maybe a little left. Can be a sketchy putt. Just being on that hill, and with OB right behind, Jake Froehle's going with this overstable destroyer. Probably looking to swing it a little bit more. I like this play a little bit better. It's not as touchy. Kind of allows you to skip it back towards the basket, and that should be pretty solid. Didn't see a land, but pretty sure it skipped up there. As long as you don't flip it over, you should pretty much be safe.
Come on, flip.
Diego, little inside. See if that catches the hill. He's probably going to be skipping a bit left. Really want to see the disc on the right side of the basket initially. And that looked a little sketchy out of the hand, but it was an overstable boss. And yeah, that skipped up and maybe hit the basket. Had a weird little checkup. Jake Brown with a sketchy bid here. And yeah, you can see kept it on line just a little low. Didn't want to air it past. He's got 4 strokes. Did not need to make an unnecessary bogey there. See if Diego can hit a good putt though. Probably still got 28 feet or so. Oh yeah, that's a good birdie right there. Nice committed putt. Oh yeah, and Jake skipped up there, so he's gonna be getting one back, getting within 3, and there's some a lot of birdies coming up, but definitely not gimme birdies.
That's just why I like playing.
Hole 15, pretty straightforward, but 340 with OB water on the right and a green all short. Jake's going with a little flick off to the left. Looks pretty solid. You can see the basket there. Oh, just getting a little skip short. He's going to be probably circle's edge. Maybe outside. Diego going with the backhand play. Just want to barely throw it over the water, keep it on hyzer. Oh, actually keeping it a little bit inside, playing it a little bit straighter. Looked like it kind of got a nice check skip. Should be 25 feet or so. Gavin playing the wider hyzer. And kind of flipped up and looked like it faded right towards the basket. That should be pretty good. Jake going with this T-bird again, just keeping it high and on hyzer, letting it flip up. And fading out a bit left of the basket. Froehle's going to be up first. Let's see if he can put a little pressure on Brown. Decent looking putt, just never really had the height. So Jake Brown can get that stroke back here. So he's just inside the circle maybe and leaks it out. You don't really see that from him. Usually he's pretty solid with his lines, but kind of end of the round here, maybe a little nervy. Gavin going a little long here. Been a little shaky from this distance. See if he can hit one in the center. Oh my gosh, almost cuts through. Might have been a little left side, but holds on to it. Gonna get the birdie. Diego, short birdie putt for him. Oh, and barely getting that thing in there, but it works. Couple of par tap-ins. 16 is a pretty straightforward par 4. Pretty similar to a lot of the other par 4s. You just want to throw something that kind of flips up or flexes out. Diego turning this thing over again, but it's only 630, so he's going to have a shot into the green. It is kind of a tight green, but he'll definitely have a shot in. Gavin turning this same destroyer, getting way up there. And yeah, that should be a pretty simple upshot. Jake, 3 back. Pretty much needs to birdie out to put some pressure on. Getting some nice flip up. Oh yeah. Solid drive there. You pretty much pick one driver that you're feeling good with and throw it all day out here. Not sure what happened with the camera there, but Jake smashing this one out there. Yep, should be pretty simple upshot. So Diego probably has still maybe 340 or so in. There's OB left and a bunker right, so the backhand is really touchy. So a good play is to throw the forehand out left and kind of skip it up there on the side of the mound where the basket is. You just got to keep it on hyzer, make sure it doesn't turn over into the OB. And that looks super solid. That pole is a super good aiming point, and yeah, maybe a little long, but that should be inside the circle. That was a good shot. Gavin deciding between a forehand and a backhand, going with the forehand again. Oh, never mind. Let's see. Feeling it out. And going with the backhand. Don't mind it on this hole. Kind of just throw it at the bunker and fade it out. And we'll just throw a flex shot right at it and just park it. Jake Brown also going with the backhand. This is a bit surprising to me. He has a super solid forehand, so. Oh, and leaks it into the bunker. See, that's why it's a little bit tighter from where he threw versus where Gavin was. Gavin was on the left, so he had more room to swing it back. Jake kind of had to throw a perfect straight shot and leaks it into the bunker. Jake Froehle also going with the backhand, but he was also left, so it kind of gave him some more room. So Jake Brown's going to have a par putt. Could be a potential two-stroke swing, bringing it closer here. Diego's going to be out first, so Jake Brown probably not too far. Let's see if Diego can make another nice birdie putt. Oh, just off right on that one. Just a little off with the putter today. And Jake Brown making a good par putt. Not to be slept on. There's OB right behind the basket, so if he would have missed that, that for sure would have gone OB, so that was a great putt there. But Froehle can get within two holes to play. There you go. 17's a pretty tough birdie too, so you could definitely get a stroke there with a birdie. Gavin using Jake's putter to tap in. Not sure about that one, but I'm pretty sure it's legal. All right, hole 17, 770 foot. Definitely the longest par 4 on the course. I don't know about the hardest, just because there's not too much OB. But if you can get one far out there, which Gavin looks to have thrown a pretty good drive, then you're going to have either a straight backhand or just a big sidearm into the green up on this mound. Jake really looking to get some distance here. Trying to get another stroke going into 18. Maybe overturned it a little too much. Yeah, didn't quite get the full flight out of that one, but Jake throws pretty far sidearm, so he'll definitely have an opportunity.
Yeah.
Diego trying to throw this big turnover and just barely doesn't get enough speed on it, but that's still solid. He'll be up there. And Jake Brown booming this one out there. That's going to be way up there. He'll have a good opportunity for the birdie.
Jake Brown?
So Jake going with the sidearm. This is going to be pretty much a max power sidearm, especially with having to climb the hill at the end, but he's definitely got the power.
Oh, God.
Oh, and just overcooks it a little bit too much, but it should be a putt. Yeah, it gets a big skip back left. It'll be a putt, but it's going to be kind of a sketchy putt. But he kind of just needs to make it at this point. Ooh, Diego throwing a good-looking shot. Yeah, that's pretty solid from back there. They'll have a little, some sort of look from there. Gavin going with the same destroyer he's been throwing all day. Really just looking to turn it from left to right and slide it up to the basket. Looks pretty good.
Come on.
Oh yeah, really good shot from there.
Meters, 338. 25. Or 325. Yeah.
You have like, oh fuck it, I'll just figure it out.
325, yeah. Figure it out, bro.
Jake, 325 it sounds like they were saying, just going with this rock 3. Looks pretty solid. Leaks it out a little bit left though. The thing with that 325 is it's uphill at the end, so if you don't get it penetrating, it's gonna leak out like that. Diego, this would be a sweet birdie. See if you can make a good putt here.
Right there.
Ah, just doesn't really give it a chance. Jake needs this one. See if he jumps it. Nope. Stand still, just a little shy on that bid. Yeah, pretty much gives Jake Brown the freedom to lay that up. I mean, 2 strokes going into 18. Gavin tapping in his birdie. That is a great birdie. Probably not too many birdies on this hole for the whole tournament. And all right, hole 18, you're gonna see from kind of the catch cam point of view. They're teeing off from back there. The bunker is like just short of the disc golf green. There's also a golf green, but it's not really in play, but you really just need to clear this bunker. Gavin getting a brutal break after hitting the cage or the pole, but Jake pretty much needing to ace run this because Jake Brown can just put one in play and take a par, so he's going to be trying to give this ace run. Looks decent. Get a skip. Oh, good shot. Pretty much parked for the birdie, but the only thing Jake Brown can't do here is throw it short. So he's pretty much just trying to punch this thing long so he can lay it up and get the W. Diego throwing the buzz right at it. Don't hit the pole. And yeah, slides it up. Goes a little long though. That's the sketchy part. If it was a 1-stroke swing between the leaders, it could get a little sketchy if you go long because you could easily put it into the bunker, but Jake Brown's gonna have the luxury to just throw it long and yep, pitch it up. There you go. Gavin to finish out with a par. Unfortunately, he threw a really good shot, just got unlucky. Yeah, good putt there from Gavin. Finish it out with a par. Definitely don't want to bogey it after hitting the pole. Diego, a little bit of a sketchy putt here, but you want to see the commitment. Oh, and just leaks it left, but at least he catches metal. Without metal, that's for sure going into the bunker. So tapping in par, not the end of the world.
Come on now.
Jake to finish out with a birdie. Put up a respectable fight. Yeah, there you go. Super solid shooting from him. The past couple of weeks, he was on coverage at Crestline too and played really good as well. But Jake Brown's going to take this one down. Congrats to you, Jake Brown. Solid shooting all weekend. Just clean playing. And yeah, it's a good dub. right, so here's the final leaderboard. Again, congrats to Jake. We got him at 11 down and 20 under for the tournament. Jake Froehle at 19, Bruce Escobar sneaking into that podium at 17 down total. Gavin Boss 16 down. Reed Olgin 11 down, another HB local guy. David Bertado, I think he's above 50 years old and still playing super good. 9 down overall. Albert Zamora 8 down, tied with Jason Neidhart 8 down. Diego Perez at 6 down, still top 10, and Gavin Lingard with the 3 down. That is it, guys. Thanks for watching. That is the 2025 West Coast Disc Golf Championship. If you're not subscribed and you're enjoying the coverage, please subscribe. It helps a lot. Drop a comment and a like. And that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.